Hi guys, it's Kelly from Cards by Christine and the Sunshine Stampin' Co. here with you today for our August, what month is it? August 2026 kit class featuring Witchy Whimsy hat kit. So this month is a little different than normal for our kits collection because this month we have two kits that neither of them feature cards. So this kit is a decor piece. It's going to be a witch's hat. And then the other is, which I will do next, the other is a kit that is, remember those clipboards? It's kind of home decor art pieces, I think, that are designed for the clipboard. So no cards this month, but I think we're still gonna have a great time. Now, let's see what this kit entails. Holy man. So the box is way bigger than normal. Wow. Okay. I had no idea what to expect. Okay, so we've got little pins. We have a dauber and an eyeball. We've got some copper wire. I presume this is the hat. Oh my God. This is gonna be hard to show, okay? But we can do this. It is a functional hat. Holy man. Okay, sounds good. So you're going to see it from the top, which I will try to show you in ways that are possible. But okay, we'll put that off to the side. Hi, Feline. Thank you so much for joining. I'm excited about this. This is not normal. Now, that being said, this is not the first time Stampin' Up! Has done something like this. Last year, they did a largely successful and sought after, let's see here, what was that? It was a Halloween, like, haunted house, and that went over really well. And then I feel like they even brought out a Christmas version of it as well. Yay! Okay, see, I love that idea. I got 3 kits to put them together with my granddaughters. I am obviously going to see how this goes, but I would love to do this kit with my kids. So I will do it, and I will see if I think that that's something that they can handle. They're 6 and 8. The younger one is actually more creative than the older one. And I would say he also has more attention to detail and patience. So I could guess this would be more of a project I'd do with him. And so just gauging whether a 6-year-old can handle this. It's surprising, though, what kids can do. Holy man. Don't ever put your own limits on children. Okay, this stuff is amazing. So we've got 3 different types of ribbon. And then this cheesecloth type stuff. Now, I've felt cheesecloth before, and I feel like I felt like it's softer than this. This is not coarse, but it's just not what I was expecting. Obviously, it can and will fray a lot, but I'm going to try to mitigate what's already hanging off before I get too far into it. Okay, then we have our instructions. And the paper doodads. Okay. All right, so we'll come back to the instructions in just a hot bit. We have corrugated copper stars. So cool. I'll go ahead and punch things out later. We have these cards. I don't know. I don't know if this is a real thing. I feel like the word that comes to mind is tarot cards. We have black dimensionals and 2 embellishments. This is scored, so it is like newsprint, but it's scored every like ½ inch, and we've got 2 of them. Oh, I think this becomes a rosette. Then we have an ornate spider web and the number 31, the components of a flower, and then this would be the inside pieces of the flower and some black laser cuts. So at this point, I'm going to start taking everything apart. Figuring out what we're doing with all of the things. Here, I can go back to piling up the ribbon. I think the ribbon will all be used at the same time in the same place. And we'll see. So it looks like we'll be making 3 flowers because these are the insides of flowers. Okay, then we've got 3 starbursts and 2 circles. And 2 spiders. Spiders have pretty delicate legs, so be careful with them. Eee. You don't want a 7-legged spider. That just would not be good. Okay. So that's the laser cut black pieces. Then we've got, oh, these are double-sided, but there's one singular sheet. However, they are very thick. I mean, not very thick, but they are nice and thick. This, I would say, is, it's got to be Blackberry Bliss, but it's got very rich razzleberry vibes. Maybe it's got some berry burst in it too. If I recall, rich razzleberry is a RIP, no longer with us type of color. Okay. Garbage is getting overflown. Over. I don't know. It's very full. Okay. $31, of course, for October 31st. Halloween is on a Sunday this year. Or is it a Saturday? I'm pretty sure it's, well, now I'm doubting myself. I have to look it up because I want to know now. I think it's Saturday. It's Saturday because Fond du Lac typically does not do trick-or-treating on Halloween, but Halloween actually falls on a Saturday this year, which is cool. Okay, so we'll put the cards over here. I love this corrugated texture. So pretty. And there's just something about this shine on this copper that is unlike something I've seen before. it's really hard to pick up on the camera, but it's just got a really nice luster to it. And we have currently and have had in the past a lot of great different types of luster or shine for our papers, and man, that stuff just puts me over the edge. I cannot resist a good paper that's metallic or not glitter, because trust me, I remember the days of the paper with the glitter that got everywhere. But you know what I mean, the specialty type papers. Okay, so I think that's all that we're dealing with today. So let's see how we bring this magic to life. All right, so we just went through all of the pieces. Here's a lay flat on the instructions. Kit components contain supplies for one project, and our coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors include basic beige, basic black, blackberry bliss, peaceful pine, pumpkin pie, and copper. So definitely see all those colors in there. All right, so then the first section that you open up to just shows you all of the individual pieces. So of course we did just go through all of that. Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry, I kicked it off just a little early today because, well, I didn't know exactly how long it would take and what time I would get here. So you only missed the unboxing. But yeah, I got here. I was running errands ahead of time, which, okay, you guys, I am in an extremely busy time of my life with back to school. And so I've been working really, really hard to be organized and on top of things, and I have been absolutely killing it this past week. I have had more clarity and just like I've really felt good and been able to really be productive and get stuff done. So that's been amazing. But this morning I had the biggest blunder I've had in a while. So Sean and I ran into town to run errands. I needed to order my glasses and my son's glasses, and I wanted to do that. We picked them out on Monday, but couldn't order them for just stupid reasons. So I wanted to get back so I could get them ordered, because the longer you wait, the longer they take, and obviously we're going back to school, and so anyways, so I forgot my purse. So Sean drove, so he drove his vehicle, and I always keep my purse in my car. It just, you know, it's where I need it, and I always remember it, and I didn't remember it. And so we pulled up to Walmart, and he was going to run a couple of my errands while I was at Walmart doing the glasses, and it just kind of blew up all of our plans. So we did as much as we could without my, you know, cards, but was not able to get everything done, but still got some of the stuff done. So I got here a little earlier, which got me started a little earlier, which Chris and Tyler and Sean and I are going to the American Legion corn roast. After I'm done with this video, I'm going to do the next kit, and then we're going to do that. So I was like, you know what? Let's get it going. Anyways, I need a drink after that. Okay, so we just went through all of these things. Now, oh man, I wondered if we needed a hot glue gun. So, I think I know where the hot glue gun is. Just give me a second. Okay, hot glue gun and an extra glue stick because I know how this goes. I literally haven't used a hot glue gun in so long. Last time I used it, I think, was in art class for a project with my students. And so I'm getting back to life. I'm feeling a lot better. And I'm trying to see if there's things that I can do while this is heating up, which there are. So pause on the story. We are going to add, okay, I need to put this hat somewhere that is out of the way so that I can put the hot glue gun somewhere that is out of the way. Well, anyways, we're going to be adding copper to these elements. Actually, which is a lot of elements. It's all the elements. We're adding copper to all the elements. Okay, so let's see. This and this and this and these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put cardboard over the pieces that we're not coppering. And then I'm going to, so it looks like we are using this glitter glue type of thing. And we're going to figure out how that works. I'm guessing it's not going to show up much on this. So for my project, I am not going to do it on these. I don't see the benefit. I could be wrong. Well, anyways, so I hadn't used a glue gun in the longest time. Well, yesterday my mom and I installed a shelf in my closet. I have a closet in the living room that I converted into an office. It is amazing. It has helped my productivity substantially to have a designated place to work on my stuff. I used to have a desk in our kitchen, and that went with my former husband when he went to his house, which is fine. I sent it with him for the kids to have. So I had just not defined where, sorry, the hat fell, where I was going to be doing my work, because I do a lot of computer work. Well, a year ago, I converted the closet in our living room-esque type room into this desk space. And it's really nice. I love it. It works very well for me. However, it had stopped working well as it started to become cluttered and things, it just, needed some attention. And when I've started to, be more with it and feel more put together, I finally had the ambition and the gumption to do something about it. So I had this idea. Mom and I assembled this shelf, and it didn't fit. It was supposed to fit, like, obviously I measured it before I bought it and stuff like that, but here we are. Here we have this assembled shelf, and it just doesn't fit. Okay, well, we are a can-do kind of family, so Mom's like, well, let's take off the trim board. That's gonna save some space. So we did. We took the trim board off the whole corner that it was going in, and then it still didn't fit. So we took the inside woodwork off of the door frame, and lo and behold, it fit, and it fit perfectly, and it is perfect. It is exactly what I needed to help add purpose and productivity to the office. Well, anyways, it has sunk shelves. So there's a little, like, cutout that the shelf pin sits into, and the shelf was just too short to fit one of my books that I wanted to put on it. And, you know, my brain doesn't just let well enough alone. So it had been on my mind, and in the middle of the night, or as I was falling asleep last night, I truly don't know which one, I had the idea to fill in the sunk peg, which at that moment I didn't know what I should do to fill it in, or like what I should use to fill it in with. And somewhere along the night or morning, I had the idea to put a popsicle stick along the bottom of it to prevent the shelf pins from falling into the sunken cavity, which would hold it up, you know, maybe 3/8 or 1/2 of an inch, which was the perfect amount. So needless to say, I did it, and it worked perfectly, and I was so happy. And to do that, I used my hot glue gun. So that was the long and short of that story. Sorry, there was a purpose. Okay, so for the first 3, I put the copper all over the place. I think we're making 3 flowers. For the second 3, I'm trying to contain the copper to just the edges. I don't know which one's going to be better. Hey, Karen, so glad you could catch us for a little bit. So I don't know which one's going to be better. Whichever one, you know, I'll try it one way and the other way, and whichever one I like better, we'll make it work. So this is the piece of chipboard that came as the base of the kit. So it actually works extremely well as a working surface. I have a little puddle of the, it's not glitter glue, but copper glue on it that I just keep dabbing into to pick up some shine. And as you saw when I lifted it up to the camera, it really catches the light really nicely, and it looks extremely regal on this Blackberry Bliss. Love it. So, curious, what do you all think of Halloween? It is not my favorite holiday. It's never necessarily meant much to me. I love fall. I love decorating for fall, and I love fall colors, and I love fall leaves and all that stuff, but Halloween has never been my thing. I'm not into spooky, and, you know, Halloween is spooky. So this is not necessarily my cup of tea. That being said, I really like it. It's very nice, and it is classy. Like it's classy Halloween, not spooky, scary Halloween. So I absolutely can see myself putting this in the house. So tell me, are you team fall or team Halloween or neither? Okay, so there's a lot of daubering, which if you didn't know, I love to dauber. When I started designing more frequently with Chris months back, she's like, oh my, hey, I like it. Okay. Tarot cards, or whatever they're called, just some... Okay, so I'm just going to get some along the edges, and there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just getting some shine on it. I think same goes for all of these. probably try to get along all of the edge, but not every part of the center. I do like how it buckles up on the edge there. Hello, Kate. Team Fall, yes. Okay. I just think fall is so beautiful. My birthday is also in October, and I did get married in October. Obviously, at this point, I'm no longer married, but I still got married. Still was 10 to 12 years of my life, and obviously my boys are a result of that. Have a great relationship with, well, I think it's a great relationship with their father right now. We're in a good stage, so thank God for that. Okay, then this is just the purple piece. There is not a front, I mean, yes, they both are printed on, but I think both sides are exactly the same, whereas the cat is, you can tell which the front of the cat is, so. Karen Wetstein also prefers fall over Halloween. Now, my ex, he liked Halloween, but he also liked scary movies, and that is not my thing. My boyfriend actually has a friend who works in a haunted house, and he's just into all things spooky, and I just don't get it. He's like, would you ever come to the haunted house? I said, and absolutely not. I will not be there. Sorry. Love you. Not happening. Okay, so you can see on this one, I got much thicker on the edges. I actually really like that. And the way, all right, we've got Team Fall pretty much consistently. Okay, so the way I got that nice thicker edge is actually by pushing the card into the dauber, because there's a lot of ink or juice that's in the dauber. So that is how I did that. Now, obviously, I want to go back and do it for all of it. A little more. Okay, with the edges being goopier, it does take, this is dry, or dry for the most part. With the goopier edges, it does take more drying, which takes more space. Can't lay everything on top of each other then. Do we have anyone, and I know, you know, middle of the day on a Saturday, we don't have a ton of people tuned in watching, but does anybody prefer Halloween over fall? Or even just really like Halloween? Okay, that's nice. I like that. Okay, now, I'm just gonna add a radial shine to our spider web. I got a little heavy on the outside. Whoops. I want it to be heavier on the inside. Oh, that's pretty. Whoa, very pretty. Okay, and then we have these guys, which I do think becomes a rosette. So I really think not much of this is going to show. I'm going to try something and I'm going to accept if I'm wrong. I'm going to just do the top of this because a rosette gets all like accordion folded and then smushed together and fanned open. So I feel like all of this is going to be in the middle. So I'm just going to focus on this top edge and not too much on the rest. I went a couple haunted houses when I was in my late teen, early 20s, and I don't need to go anymore. Yeah, so this guy is in his late 40s. Now, granted, he's in it. Like, he's one of the personalities, and it is his life. I mean, he has a normal job, but, yeah, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Just not my thing. Remember when I wondered if there was going to be anything I could do to pass the time while the hot glue gun warmed up? Yeah, plenty. Okay, again, I know there's a lot of ink in there, so now what I'm doing is taking it and rolling it along. That's seemingly doing a pretty good job getting the ink out of it. We need some brave young souls in the comments, which is not me. So I guess use any technique that makes sense to you, but you can tell as I've gone that I've done different things than when I started. And different things work better and worse. Also, this is going to take a not super fun amount of time to dry. So we'll see how that goes. All right, find somewhere very isolated to put that. They do. So these people are just so scary. I'm a pansy, all right? Like, I have no tolerance for any of this. And I personally don't get a rise out of that feeling. Like, I know some people do. Like, that's the whole point of it. But, yeah, not me. I'm good. Okay. I believe this is the last piece. Thank goodness, because this is kind of, it's fine, but it's kind of tedious. I mean, obviously it's tedious. All right, we're in the home stretch. the sheen on this copper is so beautiful. I do have one friend who is very into Halloween though. Like, she's not necessarily into the scariness of it, but you know, the pumpkins, the bats, the purple and orange and black and stuff like that. So every time I see something Halloween-ish that is cute or likable, like that I could see someone who likes Halloween liking, I think of her or get it for her. And I actually just made her a boo basket. It's something that trended maybe last year or the year before. And I don't get into trends. I really, really don't. But I've never made a boo basket before. And I've collected all of these things for her. And I was like, I'm making Laura a boo basket. She always comes up to visit me sometime in the fall, because our apple orchard, the little farmer, is open in the fall, and it was something we did when she went to school in Oshkosh with me, and so it's kind of our fall tradition. So I asked her if she was going to do it again this year, and she is, so I'm going to give her the boo basket then, and I am so excited. She is going to love it. All right, so we did a lot of that. Now, we need to take the copper wire and lasso it around the hat from the tippy top to the brim. So, let's get started. Now, let's move all of the drying things out of the way. All right, this is not going to be easy to show. I'm going to have that thought right away. So if this is not copper, I'm going to refer to it as copper. Whoa, that unspooled very, very quickly. It is malleable, so it's easy to bend and maneuver with your fingers. I'm going to see if I can pierce it through the top, which I can. So I'm going to pierce it through the top because it's got this little hook on it where it was hooked into the spool. So I'm going to hook that into the top. I kind of just, either there was a seam or I made a seam, aka hole. And I'm going to lift it up and put some glue under it and then drop it back down into the glue. Okay, come on. There we go. I'm gonna let that dry well because I'm gonna be cranking on it to wrap it around. I do not know if this wire gets used anywhere else. I don't think so. So I think we're good to use as much of it as we want. So it looks like, and I'm looking here at the sample, it looks like, you know, you can see a couple runs of it on the like peaky part, the cone part of the hat, and then it wraps around the brim part a couple of times as well. So I'd say that's on there pretty good. So let's give it a whirl. I'm going to follow the coil, so I'm not going to go this way because the coil naturally is going that way. And I'm just going to maneuver it. Whoa! Did you know that a craft space is scientifically never large enough? Well, now you do. Okay, this is not easy. Also, don't know if I'm doing it well, but it is what it is. It also is not easy to show you what I'm doing. Okay, here's what we got so far. Just trying to pull it off of the coil around the hat. And then bend it a little bit to give it some shape. Okay, like there I see it seems pretty far away from the hat. Which it doesn't need to be quote unquote like on the hat, but I don't want it to be like hovering too far away from the hat. I don't have pliers per se, so I'm not necessarily going to try to have too much extra. Just going to try to continue to use it until it's gone. Okay. Again, I think I'm just gonna puncture it through. Where's our seam? Like, I don't need any wire exposed. Okay, come on. It was not that hard the first time. Okay, I made it through. So, I punctured it through, and now I'm going to put it on the inside. I'm going to fold it tight with my finger, and then I'm going to add some hot glue to secure it in place. I'm also going to hold it the entire time while the glue is drying, because there's a lot of tension on this. As soon as I feel as though it is good and dry, I'll flip the hat back up and see what we're dealing with. We'll have a fixed starting point and a fixed ending point, so both ends are stuck in and hot glued, so then we can kind of maneuver from there. This is actually really fun. I like this a lot. Okay, it's still a little tacky. Obviously, anyone who's worked with hot glue knows that with hot glue comes glue strings. So when you're done, make sure to check your project for glue strings, because it just really affects the look of your project if it's all full of glue strings. So last thing we always had to do for our 4-H projects was make sure all the glue strings were off. Otherwise you'd get docked on your project by the judge. No one wants that. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. Here's a kind of peek at it, but now let's get it down there and get all of the wire somewhat where we want it. So I'm gathering a bunch of it at the bottom, and I don't have the capacity. Oh, I don't have enough hands. We never have enough hands to hold it. So I'm going to take my reverse tweezer and hold a bunch of it together just for the time being, because I know we're going to be like tying things and adding things, and it will all stay together eventually, but I want to start really forming this into what it's going to be, and I can't do that without an extra set of hands. Oh man, I got some glue on the hat. Okay, so that's the wire. That was technically step 1. Step 2 was all of the daubering. Step 3 is also all of the daubering, which then leads to assembling the 2 purple flowers. So we'll do that next. I'm going to move my hat off to the side. I have run out of room. I thought I ran out of room before, but now I've really run out of room. Okay, so there's 3 insides, but I do think we're only making 2 flowers. Oh, 3 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, but we use... Oh yeah, we only use 2 pieces. Haha, just kidding. Okay, so remember, I did a more heavily copperified and a less heavy copperified. So that would be less on top. And this would be more on top. And you know, I don't think it necessarily makes a whole heck of a lot of a difference. So I'm going to do some of each. Okay, so to make the insides of our flower, we are going to put down some hot glue on the black circle. We're going to fold it up. And start rolling. No, that doesn't make sense. From what I remember, I've done this before. I wish I had another reverse tweezer. You start and you roll it from the middle. Okay, sorry, I'm not very good at reading arrows, and that didn't resonate in my brain as what they meant it to resonate. So I'm gonna do this because now I know I'm doing it correctly. And then I'll tell you how I did it because I gotta do it 2 more times. Okay, so. Okay, at this point, my hot glue is affirmatively dry. So I am going to just try to reheat the bit of hot glue that's, you know, the tip is hot. So if I hold the tip on it, hopefully it'll melt it enough that I can put that down. Okay. What I don't understand is where it goes. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's not. I'm going to say that was misleading. So I rolled it tightly. So this symbol means fold. And it's saying to fold starting on this end and rolling it in. Then to put hot glue there. And then to put a diamond in the middle. But there ain't no way I'm putting a diamond in the middle. So I looked at the sample. It looks like the embellishment goes in the middle and this wrapping goes around it. So that's not going to work. We're going to try for the third time. Third time's a charm, you know what they say? So I'm going to start with an embellishment. So we've got two embellishments and we have an eyeball. I'm going to start with one of the embellishments. I'm going to make my own rules. This may not work. I'm going to put hot glue in the middle. And then I'm going to put the embellishment down. I need that to I'm gonna go rogue here. I'm gonna cut this off. This might be terrible. I'm going to put hot glue around the perimeter. This isn't right either, because now it's sunk in too deep. Well, we're getting closer, guys. We'll come up with an acceptable solution. If anyone has done this or has any idea how to do this, let me know. Okay, that's not even sticking. Okay, fine. Here, guys. Okay. We're gonna salvage that at some point in time. I just don't know how. Okay. So I'm going to curl it around something that's round. Wish it was thinner than this. Oh, where's a good old pencil? Good old-fashioned pencil when you need it. I love pencils. They're my favorite. They're not my favorite. They are close to my favorite. When I discovered erasable pens, they were my favorite because erasable pens are colorful and pencils are not. I mean, the outside of a pencil can be colorful, but your notes can be colorful when it's a pen. Okay, so I get the concept here. I do. What I don't get, do we have another reverse tweezer? We do not, and I need that reverse tweezer down there. Oh my goodness, you guys. Because if I just did it nice and tight like I did the first time, there's no way I'm going to be able to get the okay, I stole the tweezer. There's no way I'm going to be able to get the embellishment in there. So maybe if I go like this and I'm like loosely. So that already looks better. I'm going to throw some glue down. It's tight, but it's loose, if that makes any sense. Guys, I got stumped on step number 3. Okay, now I can get that out of there. And now I'm going to like bend these peaks and thingies down. That one's, where's the one I used already? Now, I have a butt ton of glue on the back of this already. So let's peel all that glue off. And I'm gonna glue around there. Okay, see, that's not where I wanted the glue.
It's 3:45 p.m.
Okay, so that's like kind of okay, but I don't feel like that's right. But it's done. And it looks okay. So we're gonna put one of these flowers out of its misery because holy man, that was something else. Have to do it 2 more times, mind you. Okay, we got black centers. My Lanta, friends and family, we have a flower. We have to make 3 more of them, but we have a flower. Okay, so we also want to texturize the petals. I'm going to, ooh, yeah, bone folder. I'm gonna do that. Well, I was worried about enough time for the glue to dry. Not so worried about that anymore. Okay, so I now feel like I have a better idea for the next one. I'm going to try to fix the one that I cut apart. We'll see. I personally do not know if I would know how to suggest doing this without a reverse tweezer. Okay? So if you don't have one, or without a reverse tweezer. I don't even think I could do it with a tweezer because the beauty of a reverse tweezer is it closes itself. So it holds itself closed. Oh, good. We wanted more coil. Well, I already used all the coil. Well, we're going to have to figure that out. Okay, so we're back here. This one is already started because I did already wrap it up once. Okay, so this is the point at which I would put glue on the little circle tab that is attached to it, that is not attached to mine because, well, we all know why. Okay, so So we're gonna see if we can make this work, which I don't see any reason why not. I'm stressed. This is a little challenging. I pray that it is not as challenging for you because you're watching me make the mistakes. Okay, while that's drying a little bit, I'm going to do the third one, which might be the most successful. So I'm going to pinch at the end and then roll. Until the end. Now I'm going to loosen up just a little bit to make the coil about the size of the circle. I'm going to wiggle my tweezers out, put hot glue on the circle, and close the lid. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Now, what I don't understand is how on earth we're going to get that thing in the middle. But again, we're gonna bend down some of these thingies. I mean, all of the thingies. Maybe I'm going to bend this one down because it seems to be in the way. And it can be a support for my embellishment. Okay, here we go, here we go. Throw a dab of glue in the middle. And then sink that embellishment down, which there's not a lot of going down that I can do, but it is what it is. Ew. All right, now let's make a flower. This is a bit misleading. I still feel as though the eye is supposed to be on the inside of it. I'm okay with this. This looks fine. Doesn't look as good as their sample, and I don't understand how they made it according to their sample. I am all full of glue hairs and I don't like it. All right, let's okay. I don't think it's exactly what we're going for, but it kind of works. Now, I don't know how I'm going to make this work because this eye is huge. So the last one went the best, but I'm going to take it apart, I think. And I'm going to try something different. I know I was starting to try this before, but I didn't. But I'm working off of this image on the front, and you see how the eye is in the middle of this flower center. It doesn't look like this. So I am going to run the risk of this not working at all and put the eye in the middle of this. This is not per the instructions, and I'm not promising this is going to even work out remotely. I'm also going to bend out the spikes before we even get that far. Okay. So this has a foam or a waxy backer on it. So let's try that again. These flowers are going to be the death of me. I really felt like I was onto something, but I'm still running into some issues. Ow! Okay, these guys are really pokey. Holy man alive. Okay, I don't want this to just become an absolute clump of glue, so I'm gonna put glue strategically just a couple places around it. So a dot of glue there and join it. Hot! Okay, then I'm going to keep going around. Put a dot of glue there. And then a dot of glue there. This is not, quote unquote, the easy way. Haven't even flipped it over to see if it's a good way. But I think after all the attempts, this is going to be the last way. Hey, at least the glue hairs look like cobwebs. So there, you got that going for you. Okay. I think this looks substantially better than the others. Now, I don't know how to tell you to do it for the others because the other embellishments are small, the embellishments, kind of. So I don't know. That is how I would do the eye. I don't have any more to experiment on whether or not it works to do that on the embellishment ones. I'm also going to curl the petals before I glue the stuff on so that I can get a better grip on the petals. Massage them a little more. I don't dislike paper flowers, but I don't like flowers that are super not realistic, which paper flowers are not real. So they're never gonna look real. But I just want to give it a little more texture. All right, then we're gonna put the center in. Then we're gonna put the eyeball in. I like this flower. That one's pretty good to me. The other two are manageable. Not gonna register a complaint with the complaints department. All right. Now we gotta go back here. I snuck my tweezer back in here. So, working ahead. More hot glue, more hot glue. Not yet, but in a bit. I don't know where to put this. I don't want to get it on anything. Silicone mat. Put a silicone mat under your hot glue when you move it off to a different surface. Okay. We gotta talk. I am 100% positive that Tyler has a pliers somewhere. I don't have a pliers. Is it a pliers? A nipper. Nipper. Sorry, it's a nipper. They want me to take a chunk of wire and make a tight spiral to put my little tarot cards on. Now, if I was at home, I have scissors that I have conditioned to be absolute garbage because I do stuff like this, like cut pipe cleaners and stuff like that. But that is not here, and I absolutely am not going to use a Stampin' Up scissor for this. Now, could I bend it back and forth until it breaks? I guess that is something I'm willing to try. Does not sound ideal. I also wish I would have known this before they... I'm conflicted. So, copper is really soft. So in theory, I think I should be able to bend it back and forth to break it. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do anything with, like, I'll have to reattach it, which is fine. We'll figure that out. Remember when I said I don't have enough hands? I don't have enough hands. Okay, so I'm bending it back and forth. I think this is going to work, as it just did work. What I will say about that is it's best to fold it back and forth in the exact same spot. So I can't assume every single one of you has pliers. So you can bend and break copper with your hands, because it is so soft, is not necessarily fun. If you have, I keep saying pliers. It's not a pliers. If you have a nipper, please go grab your nipper and save yourself some sanity. Okay, well, I just did that. All right, back to this. Now I'm going to reattach these two pieces together. Owie! With the strength of my bare hands. Which, spoiler alert, I'm not the world's strongest woman. I do have some pretty kick-butt abilities to make things that I want happen. I don't take no very lightly. So there you go. Now I have a nice little knot of wire. Okay. So you're all watching this before you're making it, right? Because that would be extremely helpful to you. All right. I think we're gonna say something like that. Now, part of me wants to actually just throw some glue down to hold some of this wire down, and I guess I don't necessarily see a reason why I can't or shouldn't do that. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue down and hold the wire to it until it is sufficiently dry, sufficiently cooled that it holds. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, which I don't know if I have enough dexterity to do both at one time. I probably don't, but I probably do have the desire enough to want to try, which is so silly. Okay, I'm also going to use this as an opportunity to cover up that exposed end. You won't have that because you will break off a piece before you put that on. Okay, smart idea. 10 out of 10 would recommend. All right, well, over here, I have a piece of copper wire, once you know, and I'm supposed to make a spiral. A spiral that is going to hold the tarot-esque cards together. Hey, tweezer. Be a really great time to use you. If you have not bought a reverse tweezer before this project, I would suggest doing it. Okay, anyways, now, yes, this is soft, but I still like to wrap it around something, and I don't know if this marker is the right size. Mine's got a bit of a sharp edge from, you know, the manhandling. I wish I had something. Okay, I believe I probably have too much. However, I don't want to have to cut it off again, and I really don't think there's any other places we could need wire. So I'm just gonna take and spiral the whole rest of whatever I just cut off. It's way more than the 3 little spiral that they suggested, but it is what it is. Okay, so I'm also then going to, I think, flatten it. And maybe a little bit spread it out. it surely is not tight enough to hold the cards together. Yes, I can put the cards in it. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Where's my purple one? So I was going to put them in different levels of this, but it doesn't show any more or less. So I think what I'm going to do is something like that, so that you can see some of it. I don't know. You guys, I'm just guessing. Okay, anyways, that was I jumped a step in there because I got a little excited realizing I needed to salvage some wire. So anyways, I salvaged wire and did step number 6, but I need to move back to step number 5. I pray now that when I release the tweezer, hallelujah. Okay, this has got me all sorts of figuring out. Okay, we need to take this cheesecloth. I'm going to not make an assumption that I can use it all, because the last time I did that didn't work out so well. But it appears as though I can use it all. And I think we're just going to, I'm going to start by tucking it under. And then I think we're just going to wrap it around. So this is where that whole, exposed wire wrap extra around the bottom is going to get rectified because, well, now we're not going to see it anymore. I think this just gets loosely laid around. Oh, man. Okay, just kidding. It looks like they kind of tied it. Well, would you look at that? Okay. Okay. So it looks like they tied it and have the tie hanging off the end. I don't want the tails to be too long, so I feel like I'm going to come up with something else to do with some of this extra. Tuck some under, roll some around. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to tie that in a knot. And have some to hang off. Now, the thing I like about cheesecloth is tearing it, or like pulling it apart and getting these areas of like openness to it. So you'll see here, I have much too much, but I kind of like how it looks when it's more loose. So, and I'm also going to do some more of that, like pulling and stretching of it. It's not necessary. It doesn't look like they did it in theirs, which is fine. I like it. Look at our flowers anxiously awaiting being put on the hat. Okay. Any master cheesemakers watching? Why is it called cheesecloth? I mean, I think it's called cheesecloth because it's used to make cheese, and I think it like strains the whey, and like some of it stays and some of it goes through, and the stuff on top gets used for something and the stuff on the bottom gets used for something else. I'm no expert. We do have a lot of prominent cheese, obviously Wisconsin, okay, right? Prominent cheese places in the area. Oh, welcome back, Kate. You missed a lot of comedy. This has been an adventure. You'll have to catch the replay. But I'm glad you're back. Okay, there we go. Wow. I really like that. It's very loose, but I'm okay with it. Okay. So the instructions are good. But these are digital mock-ups, which just do not look the same. So I do like to reference the actual picture, which is on the front. Well, look it. It looks like the spiders are supposed to have copper on it. That spider is definitely copperified. Might have to go back and do that, but we're not there yet. We're far from there. Okay. So I made my little thing of the cards. And if I'm looking at the picture, they've got the bow off to this side and the cards are like up here. So I'm just going to temporarily like stick it on the wire. We're probably going to have to do a lot of like making things stay with glue. I'm not ready to commit to anything yet. Okay, so that's step 6. Step 7 is ribbon. And
4:15 p.m.
one of the metal picks, the pick with the eye at the end, I think. What's the other one used for? Oh, the other one's used for the spider. Okay. I see glue. I see all of these together. And I don't understand. I don't know if they go through this eye. It appears as though they do, but it also appears as though they stay completely together and straight. So, how? Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna take a guess and just wing it and go for it. So I'm gonna put the star on top, the lace in the middle, and the plaid on the bottom. I'm going to fold it and try to catch it in the hook. Ah! Which is easier said than done. Okay, I'm gonna amend my plan just a smidge. I think that's going to work-ish. If you see this and that means something to you or means more to you than it does to me, absolutely do it the way that makes sense to you. But this doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna hook it. I'm going to try to hook it. Okay, so I used my fingernail to shove it up into there. Now I just need to get my fingernail out. And then I'm going to also tie it around. I don't know. A lot of this just doesn't make total sense to me, and that's okay. I'm a card maker, not a decorer. So, decorator. All right, now I feel like that's pretty secure. So I think this is called a hat pin, which would make a lot of sense because, you know, we're decorating a hat. Now, yes, they are shorter than... if I wouldn't have tied it, but I don't think that would have been secure otherwise. I don't know. So I feel like this is, so this end comes off and then it's a pin. Ah, no, my very delicate situationship. Okay, so I'm going to do a little gluing because I do like how this looks. I'm just not ready to put it on the hat yet. So I'm going to glue them together in somewhat inconspicuous places. Okay, and that's gonna go there. When and however I can make that happen. Holy man. Okay, so it's a hat pin. Now where did I put the cap? Well, isn't this just fun? Oh, it's right here. So I think it's made to like go through and then come back up and then put the cap on and be a little decoration. So that's what that's gonna look like on our hat. Part of me feels like it needs to go that way, which would mean moving the hat pin, which is fine, but I'm gonna not worry about it until I have the flowers down. I feel like the flowers are gonna make a difference as to where this is gonna go. So is it time for flowers? No, it's time for the other hat pin. Okay, we are making a spider. Okay, so this is something I know how to do. Dimensionals. All right, let's move this out of the way. We don't need you yet. All right, 3 dimensionals. The dimensional cut in half is how I'm reading this for the spider. I'm assuming 1 on the front side, 1 on the back side. I cannot say that for certainty. I also do not know where this pin is starting from, originating from, and going. Oh man, I'm trying, you guys. I'm really trying. Okay, well, because I believe the spider is supposed to be coppery, I'm going to do that because I thought it looked really nice. So if you would like to do that too, here you go. All right. Woo, okay, that was too much. All right, so one's pretty coppery. Okay, so cut the dimensional in half. Does it mean half on the front, half on the back? Okay, this goes in the middle of that. And then the spider comes out of it. I'm going to disagree with that statement because I feel like the spider looks like it's coming out of the rosette. So for the time being, I am going to adhere this to the 31. I'm going to move that off to the side. I'm also going to adhere the spider to this thing. It looks like the butt is approximately the size of the circle. So let's take a dimensional and cut it in half and put 1/2 on each side of the little hat pin. Maybe it's a stick pin. I don't know. Maybe it's a hat pin. I thought it would be a hat pin. Not because we're making a hat, because I thought that that's what it's called. That's why. Okay, now, these legs are super delicate, so I want to keep the top and bottom as closely aligned as possible, but I understand that that is going to be extremely challenging. So that is what we're going to call a close enough is good enough. I like it. All right, moving this back off to the side. Okay, rosettes. So from what I know about a rosette is you go back and forth. And each one of these strips is going to make half of the rosette. Now, the sample on the outside, I know, I don't need to worry about the sample on the outside. I really like it, and it is our example, so I would like it to look like that. The sample on the outside has much more copper along the top edge. I need to decide if that is what I want as well before I do any amount of gluing. But anyways, the rosette is going to open up. I knew some of this was not completely dry. Is going to open up like that. And then my spider web is going to go like that. So I'm going to say that is enough copper. Yes, it would probably look very nice with more, but I'm good with the amount that it has. Okay. So it's wonderful that the score lines are already on here. You just fold back and forth. It's super simple. I know there's more not dry stickiness going on up there. My prediction about not needing to do the bottom half was spot on. Also, my next live is not going to start at 4:30 because it is 4:27 and we still have some figuring out to do. All right, so we glue these together. And then we glue these together. Oh my gosh. You don't freak out when that happens. Gotta get these together. And then, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, so that'll all space out fine. Is that glued? Yeah, that one's glued. Okay, so I'm gonna hold it gently with, I wish I had one more hand, and grab this black circle. I have 2 of them. I don't know why. I don't think I need 2 of them. I'm gonna put the hot glue directly on it and then sandwich it on here. Oh God. I wanna like drop it and run, but I like can't. Woo! This is exhilarating. I'm wondering if, oh yes, front and back? I think I'm gonna do it front and back because I have to. I don't see another place to use another one. I think it'll just provide structural integrity. We're all about that integrity. Good. Golly, Miss Molly. Okay. Now we are going to,
4:30 p.m.
it's 4:30, says my clock. Okay, now we are going to do this and adhere it to there. I am acknowledging that I have not yet put the spider anywhere. I don't know where to put it, so I will figure that problem out later. I also don't have a clue where these green things went. They were probably supposed to be a part of the flower, weren't they? Huh, yeah, they were. Oops. I don't know where. I don't see them. Oh. At first I thought it was for the back, which would make no sense. Why would you? You don't see it. I feel like it was intended to be under the black, but it's not on the illustration, and I also don't see it on the finished product. So just gonna call that a not part of this project. Alrighty. We got the hat back. Now we need to start making some commitments, and trust me, I know, commitments are hard. So I'm gonna put some glue down and stick the knot down. Then I'm going to put some glue . You know that paper that they put in Amazon boxes instead of like bubble wrap? I feel like I would really like some of that to hold this hat in a shape. So something to consider. I think that would be quite helpful. I can't necessarily work on this and give you a good view of it at the same time, so I will give you a much better view of it when I can. I'm gonna flatten some of this out and add some glue to the bottom. And then add some glue to the back. Okay, I went too far. Cool. Cool. I can always pick it off. It's fine. Oh no! We're like fighting with we're fighting a lot of battles here. Okay, so I'm going to peel some of that off because it's visible. And I like invisible. And I'm going to bring in some tear and tape. And adhere some tear and tape on the back here. And who knows, maybe I'll get some structure. Like I could glue the hat to that. I don't know. I don't want to do that. Okay. All right, I'm going to take a quick segue and show you that that's what I got so far. It's looking okay. All right, flowers. So we have a flower here and a flower here and an eyeball flower here. Voila. Now, if only you were glued. I feel like I want the flowers to nest. Okay, I feel like I like where this one is. So I'm going to put some glue down, and then I'm going to put some glue down, and then I'm going to pray that that stays. It's going to stay. It's staying. Okay, now, I think I want these to nest a little bit. So I think I'm gonna put that one, you know, maybe I want it to come up too, like off of the hat a little bit. I'll put it right there. Deal? Okay, this is kind of why I didn't want to put the hat pin in yet, because I have no clue where that would have been at this point. So the hot glue gun that I used this morning on the popsicle sticks for my shelves is a cordless hot glue gun, and wow, what a blessing that is. Okay, I'm not yet going to stick this down because I want my cards. Haha, we make cards. These are cards. Different cards. I want my cards to go somewhere in conjunction with the eyeballs. Now, also, I feel like I like that curly cue that I made. So I kind of want that to show, maybe. So I feel like I want it to be exactly like this. Now, how do I make that happen? Feels like there's nothing holding a lot of this up. So I'm going to use tear and tape. Oh, it's two-sided. So I don't necessarily want to use tear and tape. Although I know it doesn't matter. So let's see if we can get it to stick. Your hat is going to be entirely different than mine because this spiral is, there's no way your spiral is going to look like mine. And that is okay. But I think a lot of this is going to be dictated on how your copper spirals and what and how you are attaching things to that. Yeah, see, right now I'd really like a cordless glue gun. Chris had a cordless glue gun that she got from the used stamp sale, and we couldn't get it to work. I don't know. It was sad. Okay, so I have one. Everything is falling. Okay, I have one part of the cards sticking. I have one more wire in which I'm going to try to have another adhesion point to the cards. And that is right here. So let's see if we can do that. That being said, I kind of want it to come forward a little bit. It's okay, the wire is extremely malleable. Okay. Vibe check. It's getting there. All right, so we still have the hat pin of the ribbons, which I wish was going entirely the opposite way, which maybe it can. Hello. You're just gonna, okay. We're gonna come back to that. I have a really good idea. Okay, now this little eyeball flower is gonna go right here, which I guess means it's gonna adhere to the cheesecloth, which is not secure in any way, shape, or form. Whoa, where did that glue come from? I'm also going to adhere it to the rosette. Whoa. There's a couple places where my wet stuff stuck together and tore. I'm gonna take care of that right now. Okay, now I'm also going to, okay, so it's stuck there. I'll stick it under there. So what am I doing? I don't know. I'm just sticking things to each other to make it feel or seem secure. A little glue here, a little glue there. A little glue never hurt anyone, right? Actually, hot glue has literally hurt me physically. I was helping my cousin make her first communion banner. This was a long time ago. She is 27 or 29 now. And the glue, I think, just ran out of the tip and left an exclamation mark scar on my leg, like the quad part of my leg. It did stay for a long time, but at this point in my life has faded, but it was a really cool scar. All right, so I feel like it's not quite attached. I mean, it's good, but I feel like it could attach right here as well. So I'm gonna put a piece of a glob of glue there. And then that's going to be the amount of sticking that we have going on. Oh, we have stars yet. Oh, my stars. Okay, and at that point, this point, that has unstuck. So let's go back to trying to stick. Don't rush hot glue. It'll stick when it wants to stick. Okay. All right, so I struggled to try to get the ribbon into this. I didn't understand what they were saying or what they were doing, so I just, like, tied it together. And now I'm just going to stick the pin through it. And now I'm just going to stick it where I want it, which is somewhere in this vicinity. So that petal is
It's 4:45.
you know, and I don't know if I want it to show or not. Like the hat pin end to show or not. That's the beauty. You can put it in and take it out, and I could put it here and change my mind completely. I kind of like the thought of seeing the end, but I don't know that I like the thought of the end being exactly in the flower. Well, let's find out. All right, I think that's okay. So again, here's where we're at. All right, we still have a spider and stars. Now the stars go on the wire via dimensionals. And we have 3 sets of stars. They're front and back. And according to the instructions, okay, well, my wire doesn't go this way, it goes that way. So, off to a great start. It looks like it goes big, small, small. According to the picture, the big is on top. And I see another small and I see a small and I don't see another small. So I feel like I'm going to put some non-committal glue dots. One of the only times you will see me use a glue dot. Put some non-committal dots here. Put them on the hat. Decide if I like where they are. And then put them on. So I feel like this is like embellishments, but at the same time, you can't put them just anywhere. Wow, this is quite the deal. Now, I acknowledge when I take them off to put the back on, they might not end up in the exact same spot, but at this point, I'm thinking something like that. But let me look at it straight on. The big one's too high. I don't want them to compete with each other. Okay, I'd moved them and I'm not going to show you. It's gonna be a surprise because I don't want them to fall off. All right, let's see how we're supposed to adhere these bad boys. Okay, supposedly the big star has one in the peak and two on the bottom. Now, the non-committal dot, I'm going to leave it on there and see if I can sandwich this together and let it stick. So my fear is now it's stuck together, but why wouldn't it fall down? So I'm going to put some hot glue there. And some hot glue there. Now it ain't going anywhere. I know, ain't a word. Okay. Then the stars. We have two dimensionals stacked on top of each other. I don't know how. There's not a lot of real estate in here. Now, that one I can see that the dimensional is squeezed over the wire. That one I'm not worried about moving. See if we can do another one. Unless I did something wrong, which you guys, I am not promising I did any of this correctly. I feel like we have a lot of extra black dimensionals. I think I used dimensionals in all the places I was supposed to use dimensionals, so maybe there's extras. Like a lot of extras. Maybe I missed something completely. That's also a viable option. Again, dimensional is squeezed over the wire. I want to squeeze some more glue in there, but I don't know exactly how I would do that. Okay, so now I want the spider, I think. To go thereabouts, but I think I'm gonna just glue it. Okay, so I poked it into the rosette. So obviously I have nothing to put the back on. Now, this is all very loose, which I kind of like. However, I am going to secure it to this lot of hot glue that I have back here. I don't need anyone seeing that ever. So let's just commit this cheesecloth to stay there. And then this can be loosey-goosey around the back, and this can be loosey-goosey around the side. I'm going to officially unplug the hot glue gun because it has been plugged in long enough. Move it over to cool off, again, over a silicone mat. Okay, you ready for the big reveal? It is super cute. I'm also going to show it to you this way. Look at that. Look at that. We did it. It's full of hair. And it's not cat hair for once. It's hot glue hair. Look at. I was extremely nervous about this. And I think I knocked it out of the park. What do you think? So, that is the Whimsy Witch Hat Kit. The Witchy Whimsy Hat Kit. You love it, you want to make it, and you want to buy it from me to get me to Costa Rica. Just kidding. Not, but yes, I'm kidding. So, I hope you like it. I hope I helped because wowza. I needed some help with some of that instructions, and so now I hope you feel like you can better accomplish this because of the trial and error and turbulation that I went through. So, I will be back in just a few minutes for the next kit, but until then, sending lots of sunshine, love, rainbows, bright skies, and everything else your way.